lost him. And you know what? It was just about to get good, too. It was just getting good. We lost
Should
him.
we take the break and maybe he'll call back? I don't know.
You know what? We can take the break, and we can see if Ethan can reconnect with him, because I want to hear where he goes with that answer. I don't know. CJ, I'm just saying, we just started bringing up some deep stuff, and then it gets cut off. Is the Illuminati listening to the show? Just saying.
Welcome back to the show. 3 minutes away from 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock?
That's it. I'm going home.
Dang, man.
See ya.
I wouldn't even be on the air on any of our stations before 8 o'clock. I don't know where that came from. Reading, it's hard.
Well, I think when you have a... I'll say in all candor, when you're in a foreign country and a monkey in a diaper sitting on your head, you're asking for trouble.
Discussion can end there. That's right. Boom. It's a definitive statement on the issue. Now we move on.
So how many times have you thought about that was a bad idea that I had a monkey on my head since you had the monkey on your head?
Every time I go visit Dr. Pellegrino, my personal doctor. Do you know what it's like to tell your doctor that?
Well, yeah, Doc, I also had a monkey. Excuse me? Had a monkey on my head with a diaper on. I bet you that's the first time Dr. Ron has ever heard that one. He's probably heard a lot of things.
He's heard a lot. Yeah, Dr. Ron has.
He's one of the great West Virginians. He's up there from the northern panhandle.
He's awesome.
Tremendous.
Yeah, Dr. Ron. Good dude.
We were talking in my office a little earlier, and a phrase that Ryan used that I was really kind of gobsmacked over. He started a sentence with me. He said, "We were watching football on Thursday."
I know, he did the same thing to me. He did this. Is this like Earth 2?
I said, what?
He came back and started telling me about the Cowboys and the Chiefs game.
I know.
And you were watching the Lions game on Thanksgiving Day.
Well,
what happened? What happened to our little Ryan?
Well, when my Uncle Bill and my Uncle Chris asked if I want to watch football with them, I don't say no.
Okay.
So because I'm not a recluse anymore.
So if you have uncles that are big sports fans, do you get some creds? Are you like, hey, I'm actually kind of sports show, it's syndicated.
Well, I don't.
Statewide.
Well, I don't want this to be a sports show.
Second game this season that Honors had 8 threes. Second time he's had 8 threes, and his coach has pulled him out with over 4 minutes to go.
You're up 40.
Yeah, but coach just does not want to see him get that record.
There may have been a discussion about that on exactly where he was in the number.
Did you let him know this time?
But there was a discussion about where he was with the number. But at the end of the day, Ross decided the juice not worth the squeeze there. With 3.5 minutes left is when he pulled him out after the timeout there. And that's a guy with a lot of minutes on his in his body. You need to rest him. But 2 out of 11, you got to think maybe he's going to approach that again. Here's what's wild. In those 2 games where he's just been one off of Alex Ruoff's record, he's now a combined 16 of 20 from 3 in those 2 games. So he didn't just make 8 threes, guys. He was 8 of 11 last night. He was 8 of 9 when he did it before. 16 of 20 combined in those 2 games.
Across this great state of West Virginia, welcome in high school game nights. I chuckle a little bit, folks, because it said early edition.
As compared to the
Only
rest
edition.
of the edition, yeah.
Yeah. Tonight is going to be interesting, to say the least.
10 seconds remaining.
Going to be a direct snap here.
Snap back. It's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws. He's got an open man. Pass top 10. 5. End zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up, and Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
You had a moment of clarity about when it all started to make sense for you?
It did, because I didn't want to be a filmmaker growing up. I didn't even know what filmmaking was growing up. I used to watch Oprah and Katie Couric, and that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be you. And I worked at West Virginia University's radio station, had a very thick accent. People would call in and make fun of me. And so I asked my roommates, my college roommates who were from Baltimore, to teach me how to talk differently.
Really?
Yeah. And it's a loss, I feel, from that. And it's probably one of the reasons why I love documenting people that are authentic. Like, I don't know if I'm authentic, but I think the people I find are very authentically who they are, and that's what draws me to them.
Back in the upper rotunda of the West Virginia State Capitol, this is MetroNews Talkline, and we are underway.
Voice of West Virginia comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is MetroNews Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check set lineup link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Cue Dave and TJ. You're on. MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
MetroNews Talkline, we're live in the upper rotunda of the West Virginia State Capitol. Good morning. Dave Wilson TJ Meadows at the AARP broadcast location. Coming up this morning, Montague County State Senator Mike Oliverio will stop by. We'll talk to Delegate Mark Dean. Also, coming up later, Brad McElhenney will join us, and we'll talk about jobs and hope here in West Virginia. Jake Link's running the video stream back in Morgantown. Stephanie Pauley here on site if you're watching on the MetroNews TV app. And Ethan Collins is handling the audio production this morning. Say good morning to TJ Meadows here at the AARP broadcast location. Good morning, TJ.
Morning, sir. How we doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. Stayed up late, watched national championship last night. Mohegan, Kurt Signetti winning the national title at Indiana. Think about that, Indiana. Yeesh. But a great game last night. Stayed up late to watch that little rooting interest coming out of Morgantown. So, busy day. Got some excitement. Got a little buzz in the Capitol this morning. Started off slow.
Yeah, more people here. Lots going on. Various vendors. It's always nice to walk around and see what is happening. I think we're going to have one vendor on later. Is that right? Who we have?
Deb Harris from the Jobs and Hopes program.
Okay.
Jobs and Hope program. Remember, then Governor Justice rolled that out several years ago, and they've got several of the success stories. Several people who have gone through the program here today, so we'll talk to her coming up second hour. Brad McElhenney will catch us up on what is and is not happening at the Capitol today. But let's start. Yesterday, the House of Delegates voted and swiftly moved two bills to establish an emergency fund for distressed county school boards while appropriating $8 million in response to a fiscal crisis coming out of Hancock County. We have talked a bit about that. Joining us on the program is the superintendent of schools here in the state of West Virginia, Michelle Blatt. Michelle, good morning.
Good morning.
Glad to talk to you. Well, I wish we were talking about something else, but
Me too.
Here we are. So let's talk about this bill in particular. Why do we need it, first of all, which is basically a bailout bill for county schools that are broke?
Yeah. Unfortunately, Hancock County Schools has gotten themselves in a deficit to the point that even with us fronting state aid money to them, we still would not be able to make all of the payroll commitments that we need throughout the rest of this school year.
How was it able to become that bad? Why didn't somebody catch it?
Well, we've asked ourselves that question as well and met with many of the representatives in Hancock County. But they were showing a $5 million carryover at the end of last fiscal year. They also had a large sum that they were putting into our WVEIS system, so we knew what the balances should be and what they were reporting. They then ended not not riffing the teachers.
Reduction in force.
Yes, reduction in force that needed to occur in order to get our personnel off of the COVID funding. And then they also did a large contract for turf at a couple of their schools. And so I think what happened when you have that influx of personnel on county funds, that it caught up to them as this school year went on, and they were not projecting what that was going to look like.
How did the safeguards miss this? I mean, there have to be I'm not an accountant, not a CPA, not an MBA, but there have to be safeguards in place. How did this get to the point of disaster?
Yeah, so it appears that the finance office and the work that they were doing there, a lot of it was not being put into our WVIS financial system. There were PDF reports that the treasurer was providing to the superintendent and the board, that as soon as we were made aware that there may be a situation, and Uriah Cummings, our finance director, looked at that, he knew that those were not accurate. And so these PDF reports that were being created were not the true reflection of the finances in Hancock County.
That treasurer had been there for years. And just now this all comes up? How far back does this go?
Well, if you look back, it's really the influx of loss of funding from the COVID and not making the reductions in force that needed to be made. When you jump from 85, 90 over formula to 143, it's going to catch up with you. And from the Department of Education, from the very beginning of COVID funding, we've made a point to say there's going to be a fiscal cliff. Yes, you can employ people if you choose, but this is one-time money. There's going to have to be a reduction in force, to the point that we provided every county their numbers for the last 2 years as to who they were paying on those COVID dollars, so they did not have any question as to what they needed to do.
A few people have trickled by this morning, a few lawmakers. Some have been public about the fact that they feel that your department should have caught this, that you play a role. Is that a fair characterization or not?
Well, I think when you look at the department, so let's start with, I have 4 people in my school finance office. We can send out those numbers. We also provided webinars, we provided the trainings, but it takes a local board of education with their superintendent to make those decisions. And as a board of education at the state level, we cannot mandate that they do these things unless they're in an intervention county.
Talking to State School Superintendent Michelle Blatt, let's get to the bill that got through the House yesterday. So this would be a bailout bill. So counties that are distressed, that can't make payroll, for instance, could use this as a way to at least pay the teachers, the personnel, through whatever crisis they're going through. But is there enough teeth in this bill so it's not used as an insurance policy? Go, well, don't worry, if we screw it up this bad, the state can bail us out.
I think that where we have the intervention language in there that's also in code, that's part of the teeth that we need in there. In order to receive these funds, you're going to have to be under takeover from the State Board of Education, which most likely means the superintendent and all at-will and pleasure employees will be terminated. And it also means that the local board has no authority on any decision-making, whether it be finance, personnel, or anything. So my hope is that, while I worry about setting a precedence of bailout, my hope is that, the superintendent's going to know they're going to be losing their job. And the local board, elected board, is not going to be able to make these decisions.
They can't make the decisions, but there's nothing in the bill that would mandate. There's some guidance, there's some gesturing that the board would be removed, but there's nothing that mandates that. Get rid of the superintendent, the assistant superintendent, the financial officer. If the board hasn't changed, are you worried that they'll end right back up in the same situation?
Well, the concern is always in these intervention counties as to how long do we continue to control the finances and the various pieces of their operation. Because to your point, if the sitting board did not make the decisions they needed to be fiscally responsible, if we turn it back to the same board, what's going to happen? Of course, an elected official requires, working with the prosecutor's office and votes of the public to remove those officials. Our authority stops at taking away their authority to make decisions.
Michelle Blatt's joining us, West Virginia State Superintendent of Schools. state school board now controls 7. Hancock County makes 8, right?
Yes.
How many other county school systems are on the bubble?
We have 2 or 3 other counties that are below the threshold we would like to see in their financial numbers. They are looking, most of those counties, they are looking at closures and consolidations this school year that would help with that. And then also we know that the RIF, reduction in force season, is going to be a pretty rough one this year to align those numbers.
Some of these numbers, when I look at the data, they've got 2, 4, 5% available money versus the ratio of what they're allowed to have with their levy. That's a very slim margin. Would you support, should the legislature look at mandating that be higher at a minimum of, say, 10%, some number that would give them a little more freedom and a little more flexibility?
Absolutely. And we, through our Office of School Finance, we look at, following the governmental accounting procedures, it says you should have at least 2 months of operating expenses in reserve. So you're looking like 17% closer as to where we should be.
We've got a lot of counties that aren't anywhere near 17%.
Absolutely. And if you go back and you look, it's the fact that we have our local boards. It's hard to be elected and make the decisions that close someone's community school or take someone's position.
Well, it's hard. We were having this conversation earlier, Michelle. It's hard to look at somebody and say, we've got to let 25 teachers go, whatever the number is, or we've got to close your school, and then the voters sit there and the people of the county sit and go, well, wait a minute, you've got X million dollars sitting in the bank. Why are you doing these things when the money is sitting there? Those are tough decisions when you're talking about your neighbors, the people you go to church with, the people you work with on a daily basis.
Oh, absolutely. And, none of us want to see our community schools close. None of us want to see, any of our teachers or service personnel lose positions. But as enrollment continues to decline across the state as a whole, there's no other way unless we do address something with our funding formula.
Let's talk about this precedent with the bailout. $8 million, that could go very quickly given the amount of counties we have on the bubble, number one. Number two, if I am that local board, and I don't want to make those tough political decisions, and I know you've bailed out Hancock County, do I have any incentive to do the right thing if I know that there's a backstop there and I can just push it over to you guys?
Well, I will say for the first time in my career here at the Department of Ed, we've had counties, actually board members and superintendents, say, why don't you take us over and come in and make the hard decisions?
Really?
And, it's a situation where, that's not our role. I mean, these elected officials, it's local control at our county levels. We provide the guidance and support and tell them what, best practice and what they should do. But again, it comes down to our elected officials working with the superintendents to make these decisions.
How many people, we're talking to Michelle Blatt, state school superintendent, how many people in your office are responsible for keeping an eye on the finances of 55 county school districts?
So I have 4 people. I have a director, and he has 3 employees in his office.
Could you use a few more staffers?
Absolutely.
That's a lot. Yeah. How many hundreds of millions of dollars for 4 people to keep track of and manage 55 different entities that control it various ways?
Absolutely. And I mentioned that yesterday in House Finance. We've, for the first year this past year, have done reduction in force at the department, which had never occurred. And we've tried in doing that to realign some of our funds to get more people in the areas that we need to manage. But we also have, there's competition out there when you're trying to recruit people to be in those accounting roles as well as to the funding.
This is more of a thought than a question, but I'd like to get your response. We're talking about these boards of education, and they are elected to make tough decisions. But there are 55 superintendents who are paid well to guide those boards of education and come back with recommendations. Say, hey, you don't want to hear this. We got to get rid of 140 people. What culpability or what responsibility do they have in this entire discussion? We're talking about the boards who ultimately will say yea or nay, but these superintendents and their assistant superintendents are the ones that they come back and guide these boards in the direction they need to go.
Absolutely. Our superintendents have to go through, personnel season. They look at those October counts to see the enrollment, and they have to make those hard decisions to their board. I would say that, the majority of them make those recommendations. They're not always accepted by the board, but then we also have situations where sometimes, the recommendations aren't made. And ultimately the superintendent and that local board have to be fiscal agents and keep that county in the black.
Were those recommendations made in Hancock County?
Not to our knowledge.
How many instances are they made? And the board ignores them because if unless I have this wrong, some of these boards, if they don't like what they're hearing from their superintendent, that person's on a contract too. See you later. We'll find somebody that'll tell us what we want to hear. Is that real? Does that happen?
Oh, yes, definitely happens. I think there's a lot of conversations that occur between the superintendent and the board president or whatever as to here's what we need to do. We've seen instances where the superintendent didn't bring it forward because they want to keep their job, because they are the employee of that local board. We've also seen instances where the superintendents have went ahead and brought it forward, and we've got open meetings that they're actually board members going through saying, yes, we'll riff that one, no, we won't riff that one. So it's a hard situation for everyone to be in when it comes to these jobs and these school consolidations.
That bill is through the House. It was fast-tracked through the House, bipartisan support, and is now over with the Senate. We'll see where it goes from there. Michelle, we'll talk other issues next time we have you by, because there's still a lot to talk about. School aid formula, the 1400 rule, et cetera, et cetera.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me this morning.
State School Superintendent Michelle Blatt joining us at the AARP broadcast location. Got to take a break. We'll bring it back to the Capitol in a moment. This is Talkline from the West Virginia State Capitol.
Hospitals drive West Virginia's economy. They produce jobs and create opportunities while keeping our communities healthy. Employing nearly 54,000 people, West Virginia hospitals rank among our state's largest and most dependable employers. They provide more than $1 billion in community benefits and generate nearly $17 billion in total economic impact each year. Hospitals are investing where it counts, advancing health, ensuring access to care, and powering West Virginia's economic future.
A message from the West Virginia Hospital Association, online at WVHA.org.
Metallurgical coal builds the world, and the Met Coal Producers Association is the network that makes it possible. The MCPA unites America's met coal producers, giving members a powerful voice in policy, partnership, and progress. Producers, suppliers, and innovators come together here to build relationships, drive growth, and strengthen our industry. Join today. Visit metcoal.com. Met Coal makes it possible. MCPA makes it personal.
January 23rd is the annual Fairmont State University Day at the Capitol. We'll talk with lawmakers about Fairmont State's contribution to workforce development. We create academic programs that meets the state's workforce needs. We educate career-ready graduates, and nearly 80% of our students are native West Virginians. Many of these students remain in-state upon graduation, strengthening their communities. That's just one more way Fairmont State makes North Central West Virginia and the entire state a great place to call home.
You're listening to Talkline on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Across West Virginia, hospitals are always here, healing, helping, and standing strong for our communities. Hospitals save lives and build livelihoods. They're among our largest employers, with a passionate workforce of 54,000 West Virginians. Hospitals are economic drivers, contributing close to $17 billion to our state's economy and working to ensure access to care for all. From life-saving moments to wellness support, West Virginia hospitals keep our state healthy, our families strong, and our future bright.
It's Toyotathon, and we're determined to make this the best one yet. Starting now, when you purchase any brand new Tundra or Tacoma, you'll drive away with a personalized Dan Cava Yeti cooler. This December, unwrap incredible deals like 2.99% for 72 months on 2026 Tundras. Snow, sleet, or holiday travel, your perfect winter ride is waiting for you. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
Poca Valley has proudly served the citizens of Roane, Kanawha, Putnam, and surrounding counties for over a century. As your trusted community bank, we're committed to building relationships and meeting your financial needs. And with the Poca Valley Visa card, you can enjoy competitive interest rates, no annual fees, and a rewarding points program, all from a bank you know and trust. Visit your local Poca Valley office to apply or call us. Poca Valley, where relationships matter. Member FDIC.
Yeah. MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
304 Talk 304 is the text line. Texter says, sounds like info from Hancock County was intentionally falsified. Why did you not ask Miss Blatt if a criminal investigation is warranted? She said yesterday during her comments to the House that they are working with the local prosecutor there to see if any criminal charges are necessary. 304 Talk 304. Dave, quite simple. People are not doing their job and no accountability. Status quo. It's always someone else's fault. Have you ever made it all the way to the top of the ladder to clean the chimney, then had to take it and do the fireman slide back down? Should have read that one before I started reading that one. Oh, well. Here's the bottom line when it comes to Hancock County, and Hancock County I don't think is going to be well, it is unique in the fact that this went on for so long and got to the point where it fell in on itself. That may be unique, but as Michelle Blatt pointed out, and TJ, you've been looking at the numbers, it is not unique in the fact that there are county school systems that are just flat out running out of money.
No. I mean, Wayne's up against it. I saw on Facebook their local delegate talking about a meeting with the superintendent. They're up against it. Taylor County, Greenbrier, all of these have less than the amount they should have.
Do you have student enrollment numbers on that spreadsheet you're looking at just by chance?
I do.
How many of them are just over 1,400?
Well, that would require a data scrub that I haven't done yet, but I will get that back
I was just curious because Paul Hardesty pointed this out when we talked to him last week. Was it those schools that are just over that 1,400 enrollment mark and they don't get the extra subsidy, if you will, for being below that number that are struggling? And he used Roane County as an example.
12.
So 12, and those schools you mentioned that are in trouble, are they? I know we're doing prep.
None
on the
of those
fly
are
here.
none of those are on
Okay.
the list. The 12 that get the 1,400 adder, we'll call it: Calhoun, Doddridge, Gilmer, Pendleton, Pleasance, Pocahontas, Ritchie, Summers, Tucker,
okay.
Tyler, Webster, Wirt.
I was wondering if those ones we're talking about are just over the mark to where they're not getting that extra support, and then apparently they are just over the 1,400 enrollment mark, so they are not getting that extra money.
And
anyway,
you can do that. I mean, Clay County, one of the toughest counties, one of the most challenged economic counties. Get this, Dave. They've got 27, call it 28% of a cushion based on their numbers that they get. They're not over on employees at all. If they can do it, certainly these other counties can do it.
But there's more to it. That's the unfortunate thing. There are the numbers, and then there's the reality. There's the political reality. There's the reality of the fact you may have to be on a school bus for an hour or more to get to where you have to go to school. And consider this, and I'm just spitballing here in the last minute and a half of the first half hour here, TJ. What is and maybe it's an unintended consequence, but if we're looking down the road and we say, all right, we've got to combine school districts, we've got to combine schools, ride times to school get longer, are more families going to opt for alternatives, whether that's private schooling, homeschooling, because now instead of going to elementary school 10 minutes down the road, it's a half an hour away or 45 minutes away. And then it just seems like it's a self-fulfilling cyclical prophecy there.
I mean, maybe, but I can't change the population density as easy as I can offer hope and homeschool alternatives, et cetera. I mean, we're going to have to get creative.
Yeah, well, creativity's not been a hallmark.
Somebody's going to have to step up and make tough choices and own the political reality. You know how much I would just respect a person that would do that?
Well, and this goes back to my comment to Michelle Blatt. If you're on the Board of Education, you're compensated, but you're basically a volunteer.
Yeah.
Superintendents are handsomely compensated to make those choices and make those recommendations. And if they're not making it's one thing if your board rejects the recommendation of the superintendent. It's another if the superintendent's not making those recommendations.
I think there's a lot of the latter, though, if I'm being honest. I suspect that there is a lot of that based on conversations with superintendents throughout the state.
This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. It's 10:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
second to figure that out.
Responsibility, but we ensure that it's being taken care of. He's still on orders, getting paid his normal pay, and all of his hospitalization and treatment and everything is being taken care of through the federal system.
Stewart says Beckstrom's family was also taken care of through federal programs. A work zone-related crash has claimed another life in West Virginia. Montague County deputies say a driver on I-79 died last night after the vehicle left the northbound lanes, went into an equipment staging area, striking a parked excavator. The driver died at the scene. The wreck happened at around 8 o'clock, not far from the Goshen Road exit. Longtime Mason County Commissioner Rick Hanley says a lot of people deserve credit for working on a project that has taken a major step forward. Fronteras North America has secured nearly 200 acres along the Ohio River north of Point Pleasant to build a coal reformation facility that will superheat West Virginia coal-produced industrial supplies and expected to employ about 200 people. You're listening to Metro News. For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
How tough are you? It's the 46th annual Budweiser Tough Man Contest, co-sponsored by Dutch Miller Automotive Group, Fisher Auto Parts, MetroNews Television, Best Ambulance Service, coming January 23rd and 24th to the Beckley Raleigh County Convention Center. Thousands in prize money up for grabs. Fighters and ring girls enter at WVToughman.com or call 800-296-3897. Buy tickets at WVToughman.com, the Beckley Convention Center, or Renegade Pharmacy in Oceana. Pro fight featuring the pride of Wyoming County, undefeated Philip the Kid Fox.
Since 1914, Greer Limestone and Asphalt have been laying the groundwork for America's roads, buildings, and bridges. What started as a single limestone mine near Morgantown, West Virginia, has grown into the state's largest producer of limestone aggregates. But Greer doesn't stop at rock. Greer's Morgantown and Clarksburg asphalt plants produce top-tier paving mixes for driveways to major highways, crafted to meet federal standards. At Greer Limestone and Greer Asphalt, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
WVU is reporting it's ahead of where it was last year at this time in recruitment of next fall's freshman class. New WVU Vice President of Enrollment Management, Fabrizio Delosio, with the numbers.
As of January 6th, WVU has recorded an 87% increase in total FAFSA filers compared to last year. And so that gives us a great opportunity to start communicating with students earlier.
He says those FAFSAs continue to roll in. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Jeff Jenkins.
MetroNews Talkline from the Upper Rotunda, the West Virginia State Capitol. Senate and House floor sessions will get underway here about half an hour from now. Joining us on set, State Senator from Monongalia County, Mike Oliverio joins us. Mike, good morning. Good to see you, buddy.
Good morning to you guys. We appreciate you being here a few days each week.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on. Is it busy on the Senate side today?
It's starting up. You know, we had three committee meetings yesterday, and you know it's starting to flow. The bills are being moved through the process, so it's still early, but I hope it'll be a good session.
The House of Delegates passed will work on the school bailout bill yesterday. Fast-track that through. It's over on the Senate side. Have you had a chance to get a look at that yet? What's the feeling about that bill over on your end of the Capitol?
I'm not sure the Senate is ready to deal with that quite as quickly as the House did, to be honest. We're certainly going to look at it. We think we have a level of flexibility where the State Department of Education can forward money to Hancock County. In essence, they can send them their June allotment for the expenses in February, and we think that bit of cash flow management is going to be helpful. But I don't know that we're ready to jump as quickly as they did, but we recognize school systems across West Virginia are having financial challenges, and we want to try to help them in whatever way we can.
Bad precedent with that bill?
You know, about 10 years ago, we did something to help Boone County during a very difficult time, and I think that was also combined with a collapse in the coal economy down there. But we have to be careful. We have 55 counties. We have some very poor counties, places like Clay County that seem to be managing the resources that they have. And so to just immediately jump may not be the right thing to do. We're very sympathetic, though, to the employees and the school children up there. And so I think we'll look at it. Like I say, I just don't think you'll see one day 3 readings, rule suspensions, bill passed. I don't think you'll see that, so I don't want to misrepresent that that's what's going to happen here.
Long term, what do you want to take a look at so we can avoid these types of issues? Because we've got 7 counties now, 8 under state control. There are several more right on the bubble where they're going to be in some financial trouble. But long term, do we need to overhaul how we support the schools? Does it need tweaked? What are you looking at?
You know, there was a really bright state senator here back in 1995 that sponsored a constitutional resolution that would have authorized the legislature every 100 years to redraw the county lines. And I sponsored that because we just can't go on infinitum in a system that doesn't work. And I've continued to sponsor it every year since. In fact, when I sponsored it in 1995, I said, let's redraw the lines in 2020 to give us a 2020 vision for our state's future. That day has come and passed. But, you know, we've seen some reasonable consolidations. You know, Pleasance, Ritchie, and Tyler went together years ago and established kind of their VOTEC programs at the time. And we've seen some combinations. But we are so far beyond a system that just doesn't make sense. I mean, we have entire school systems that are smaller than Morgantown High in my district. And so we have so much top-heavy expense, and those dollars are simply not getting down to the children. So if redrawing the county lines is impossible, then what other steps can we take to combine school districts in such a way that citizens feel like their community is represented, but at the same time, we're not spending all that money on administrative costs?
Is the school system just a precursor to the larger problem? I mean, is this going to invade county governments and services?
Absolutely.
You know, Metro government, Brooks McCabe tried forever. No one wanted to listen to him.
Right. You know, there are places in West Virginia where you go into the county clerk's office, and that is the only employee in the county clerk's office.
Clerk.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, while maybe the hardest working person in West Virginia, but what kind of service can you deliver when it's one person? You know, they're going to go on vacation. They're going to have sick days. We need levels of consolidation. We need to deliver services in a more efficient manner. You know, the last time we moved a county boundary was 1895. So in 1995, I came along and said, hey, it's been 100 years. Why don't we redraw the county lines every 100 years and give opportunities to consolidate? And what if a very small county, what if we closed the county courthouse? That would create a building that could be a tremendous incubator for small businesses. It's wired, it has parking, and it's handicap accessible. You know, so there are some things that could come from
Sounds
this.
great, but somebody's going to have to give up power to do that. That's the rub, Mike.
Yeah, well, you know, at some point you have to do what's right, and we can't continue with a broken model. No successful corporation would continue to have the same catchment or service areas indefinitely. And so I think we can make changes. If we can't change county lines and things like that, at least let's consolidate. Let's take 3 small counties, put them together into one school system, give each county 2 votes on a 6-board system, and we can work things out. I think reasonable people can understand that our system is top-heavy. We need more dollars going down into the classroom, supporting our teachers, most important at all, educating our children.
Montague County State Senator Mike Oliverio joining us here on MetroNews Talkline. Let's talk about your bill, Senate Bill 8. This would require that the DOH codify a funding formula for how it disperses funds to its regional districts around the state. In fact, this bill, or one very, very similar to it, passed with nearly unanimously in the House. I think it may have been unanimous in the Senate, but bipartisan support in 2019 was vetoed by then Governor Justice. You brought it back, so that's the Cliff Notes version, but
sure.
Why do you continue to pursue this?
You know, we want continued discussion as to how Division of Highway dollars are spent. And this is one way to initiate that discussion, is to develop a formula. And if at the end of the day we can't develop a specific formula that everybody can agree on, that the legislature can pass, that the governor can sign, at least we will have engaged in a discussion such that these districts have reasonable funding based on their needs. And that's our challenge. We have felt historically in north central West Virginia that District 4 has been a little bit overlooked, and our needs are different there. For example, the needs in Morgantown, our community competes against Blacksburg, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Louisville. You know, we're competing for college students, we're competing for staff, faculty, and most importantly, we're competing for physicians, for WVU Medicine and for the Vandalia Health System. So our roads, when people come into that community, need to be well maintained. We need an appearance that when someone arrives, hey, this is the place I want to relocate my family and come work here. And so when you go through these division of highways formulas and you say they're going to cut the grass twice a year, and you're coming off the Star City Bridge and there's weeds 36 inches high, someone's saying, I think I'm going to turn around and get back on the interstate and out of here. So we want quality maintenance of our roads. We have been able to turn to the private sector on a few occasions now. My project a couple years ago allowed us to hire private companies to do ditching along the sides of roads in 3 of our biggest counties in District 4. And currently now we have the snow and ice removal program. It's a pilot program for Monongalia and Preston County, where we have private contractors who have been hired to supplement the work of DOH. So that's what we're trying to do. If we can establish a standard that this can work in our region in a pilot program, maybe we can spread that to some of the other areas of the state as well.
Let me break this down very simply. I'm hearing you say that road money is not being spent where it gets its best return. Is that accurate?
Sure. I mean, there are certainly areas in the state where it makes sense to do limited mowing. And that mowing is done for fire suppression so that you don't have fires burn out of control alongside of the road. But there are other areas of the state, when you come into these municipalities, you come into these areas of commerce where they need to be maintained properly. There's no reason why the University Town Center in Morgantown can clean every curb and mow every blade of grass, but once you come out of the University Town Center, you're in, a horrible looking environment.
Well, how does the DOH do it now? Is there some kind of formula that accounts for if 2 roads are up and there's limited money, and I'm going to either pave Road A or Road B? Am I looking at how many people drive on each road? What's the metric to decide who gets what?
Secretary Riston told us consistently that he had a maintenance plan, and they tried to adhere to that plan. And sometimes the plan was, we're going to ditch along the side of the road every 3 years, and that was the plan. And then we'd say, hey, this road here, it's been 7 years since it's had ditching. Well, we're working toward the plan, and I get that. But what we're saying is, with all the resources that we poured into DOH, help us make some of these areas attractive such that we can recruit people to our communities, particularly these higher education communities where it's students, it's faculty, it's staff, and then our healthcare system, recruiting these physicians into our communities.
Montague County State Senator Mike Oliverio. Notice he's got his red and blue on today. He's a proud Mohegan today.
Yes, very proud of my classmate, Morgantown High. I attended Morgantown High with Kurt Signetti. He was a couple years ahead of me, grew up in the neighborhood with us in Suncrest. And, wow, we're just really proud of him. Very close to his home was Hoda.
Hoda
Yes, another proud alum of the Suncrest community. So, yes, we're proud of Kurt. What he's been able to do at Indiana is just phenomenal.
Do you ever just sit back kind of and go, I grew up with that guy. He just won a national championship. I grew up with that guy. 2 houses down, whatever it was.
Yeah, and a wonderful family, I might add that. A younger brother and a younger sister, and just good folks.
You still in contact with him? Trade
no,
notes or anything?
I haven't been in contact. I'd love to be, yeah. Yeah,
we're
proud of him.
I think in the last few years he's only lost 4 games. I'm just saying one of those games was to Marshall. I'm just going to point that out. Just pointing it out. JMU a couple of years ago.
Very good.
All right. Good. Hey, Mike, appreciate you stopping by. We'll keep an eye on those. But anything else to keep an eye on?
No, we've got a lot of bills coming. I've got Senate Bill 4 that establishes a perimeter around law enforcement officers. It's a bill out of Florida last spring. that a law enforcement officer can instruct a person, hey, you need to step 25 feet away from me so I can do my job. And that's an issue that's drawn some attention. I think it's important. The law enforcement officers can be exposed to real danger when people get into their personal space.
Does that have anything to do with like the First Amendment auditing that is going on Facebook and social media?
No. I mean, I just think we need to allow our first responders to be able to work in a safe environment, keep people back that are disrupting what they're trying to do. And I want law enforcement officers to be protected, and I want them to be able to protect us. And I don't know that they can do that when somebody is within their personal space with the cell phone up against their nose, and that's what this bill does.
He is Montague County State Senator Mike Oliveri. Appreciate you stopping by, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Coming up, more from the state capitol. This is Talkline on Metro News from the AARP broadcast location.
Reliability, security, and affordable electricity throughout the region. Our coal plants are engineered for performance, designed to run most efficiently at or near a 70% capacity factor. This level of operation is not arbitrary. It's based on sound engineering principles, scientific analysis, and has been formally adopted by the West Virginia Legislature as a reasonable target for optimal performance. When our coal fleet operates near that benchmark, it provides stable power to the grid, maintains cost efficiency, and supports thousands of good-paying jobs across our state. Coal generation also drives local tax revenue that sustains schools, infrastructure, and community services. Working in partnership with state leaders and the Trump administration, we're ensuring that our coal fleet remains modern, efficient, and ready to power West Virginia and beyond for decades to come. This message brought to you by the West Virginia Coal Association and Friends of Coal.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
For over 30 years, High Technology Foundation has been committed to building a stronger West Virginia. Our mission, economic diversification. By fostering innovation and supporting tech initiatives, we pave the way for a brighter future. From cutting-edge research to tech-driven solutions, we're transforming the landscape. Join us in creating opportunities and driving progress. Let's build a diverse economy together. Visit WVHTF.org. High Technology Foundation, shaping West Virginia's future.
WVU Medicine Nephrology is committed to providing advanced kidney care at its primary location in Morgantown's Suncrest Town Center, and also at outreach sites in Buchanan, Clarksburg, Elkins, Fairmont, Flatwoods, Grafton, Kaiser, Moorfield, and Summersville in West Virginia, and Oakland, Maryland. Our expert team of nephrologists use the latest diagnosis and treatment methods. Call 855-WVU-CARE or visit wvumedicine.org/nephrology.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I have had a complicated relationship with food. My job was to talk to heart failure patients about diet and exercise. I felt like, why would you listen to me? Because I was not following a diet that was healthy for me. I needed help. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 175 pounds. I feel like I'm free. They hold the skill, they hold the tools, and they're waiting for you to come say that you need the help.
Trojan Landing Marine is now Charleston's newest power sports dealership.
We now feature a full line of sleek Suzuki street bikes and four-wheelers. We're now offering the innovative riding experience of Benda motorcycles. The next step in motorcycle evolution with all-electric Zero high-performance bikes. We've now got Segway vehicles starting as low as $10,000. Come in and check out our great selection of high-quality Benelli and Royal Enfield bikes. Visit Trojan Landing in Charleston, now your water, road, and dirt dealership.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Stike Wealth Enhancement Group is now Wealth Enhancement. And we craft detailed financial plans for people like you, because you're building your retirement your way. You deserve advice that's built to handle what your life brings. To meet with your Steig Team advisor, call us at 304-443-4240 or email steig-info@wealthenhancement.com.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Brad McElhinney joins us. We're at the AARP broadcast location. His Capital Report brought to you by AARP, your ally for real possibilities in the Mountain State. Connect on social media at AARP West Virginia and learn more at aarp.org/WV. Good morning, Mr. McElhinney.
Oh, hi. Good morning, everyone.
Talking to Senator Mike Oliverio there just a moment ago, we asked him about I don't know what the official name is. We're calling it the school bailout bill because that's essentially what it is. Fast tracked through the House yesterday. He said, we're going to let it work through the process over on the Senate side. What are you hearing, Mr. McElhinney?
Yeah, a couple of other senators have told me that is the case, that the Senate intends to be deliberative, assigning it to a couple of committees. You're going to see it in Senate Finance and Senate Education because it crosses both. You know, it was a real lightning strike yesterday in the House, introduced in House Finance and then quickly, well, I mean, they had a good long conversation, to be fair to the committee, but then quickly up and through in 3 straight votes in the House. That's not going to be the case in the Senate. It's going to be referred to those committees today or tomorrow, and I think there's time to work on it. But, you know, I think the reason is, you know, really they want to make sure that it's not what you called it, that it's not purely a bailout. Senators want to make sure that it's the proper amount of available funding. Is $8 million really the right amount? Does it have appropriate guardrails? Is it set up so that other counties that are irresponsible, that they don't think, oh, well, we're going to be okay, that bailout is there. That senators want to make sure that none of that is the case, and they want to be able to think through how to truly shape that bill.
If we're going to be more deliberative in the Senate, double reference, which can take some time, is that an opportunity, fellas, to look at this in the context of school aid formula and look at this holistically rather than trying to run the bailout bill through?
I think school aid formula is a whole can of worms, and it might be, you know, this is a 3-ring circus, and it might be better suited for a singular focus during maybe a special session to have it all lined up and really think through it and say, all right, this is our special session on the school aid formula. Another reason, though, for being very deliberative on the school emergency funding bill is to involve the governor and make sure that, you know, it's something the governor's office really can get behind, and that they want to have this kind of funding and make it available, and, you know, just to involve them.
I will add this to the conversation, a point you made, TJ, about the ultimate consequence or the bill having a little more teeth. I got the sense from our conversations this morning, the Senate would like it to, you know, as you said, Brad, have a little more teeth. And if you're talking about the removal of duly elected officials, in this in case the school board, I think that is something you have to give a long, hard consideration to before you just put something in there that says these people who were elected by voters in the county, they have to go or you're not going to get your money. I think that is something you really need to be certain about before you put it into a bill. So all that to say, yes, Brad, it may take a while.
It may take a while. And, you know, it is an intense financial situation for Hancock County, but my understanding is the county, with the current help of the state education system, is going to be okay for a while. We got time to work with.
We do not have time to work with. We got a break. Brad, always appreciate you stopping by. Look for Brad over at WVMetroNews.com. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Brad brought to you by AARP, your ally for real possibilities in the Mountain State. Back to wrap up hour number 1 in a moment. This is Talkline from the West Virginia State Capitol.
Greg Dosh of MTech. Thanks to funding in part from West Virginia lottery proceeds, we're expanding MTech with a new STEM edition.
Across West Virginia, opportunities like these are made possible when you play, helping to ensure more students can discover their future right here at home. For 40 years, proceeds from the West Virginia Lottery for education have totaled $4.1 billion. West Virginia Lottery, 18 plus to play responsibly.
Since 1926, the West Virginia Hospital Association has been the collective voice of our state's hospitals, with a shared vision of strengthening communities, improving lives, and supporting our state's economic well-being. Our member hospitals work every day to provide high-quality, accessible care. This year, we celebrate 100 years of a unified voice and our ongoing commitment to supporting our members in achieving a strong, healthy West Virginia.
A message from the West Virginia Hospital Association, online at wvha.org.
Coal-based generation remains the backbone of West Virginia's energy portfolio, ensuring reliability, security, and affordable electricity throughout the region. Our coal plants are engineered for performance, designed to run most efficiently at or near a 70% capacity factor. This level of operation is not arbitrary. It's based on sound engineering principles, scientific analysis, and has been formally adopted by the West Virginia Legislature as a reasonable target for optimal performance. When our coal fleet operates near that benchmark, it provides stable power to the grid, maintains cost efficiency, and supports thousands of good-paying jobs across our state. Coal generation also drives local tax revenue that sustains schools, infrastructure, and community services. Working in partnership with state leaders and the Trump administration, we're ensuring that our coal fleet remains modern, efficient, and ready to power West Virginia and beyond for decades to come. This message brought to you by the West Virginia Coal Association and Friends of Coal.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan.
The health plan is still growing, giving you a large network of doctors, friendly and helpful customer service representatives, and competitive, flexible pricing plans that meet your needs. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
You're listening to Talkline on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Coming to the Beckley Convention Center, Saturday 23rd and 24th. Who are the toughest men and women in the state of West Virginia? Watch Tough Man live on MetroNews Television to find out. Featured fights, top 5 finishes, and event archives. Download MetroNews Television on iPhone, iPad, Android, Roku, LG TV, Apple TV, Fire TV, and select Samsung Smart TVs. Find out more at wvmetronewstv.com.
Come to Dan Cava GMC this holiday season and find a truck built for every winter moment. From the GMC Canyons that are now up to $2,500 off to the 2,500 GMC Sierras that are now up to $5,000 off, and the Sierra 1500s that are now up to $10,000 off. We've got the winter-ready trucks that your family can count on. Come see us today at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop Thora.
It's high school basketball season, and MetroNews Television has you covered. Rivalries, buzzer beaters, classic hardwood competition. Watch live and on demand from gyms across the Mountain State. Stream MetroNews Television on your iPhone, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select smart TVs. Or visit MetroNewsTV.com for more information. High school basketball lives here on MetroNews Television.
In West Virginia, jackpots are on the rise every week. Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up Tuesdays and Fridays. That's 5 chances a week to get in on life-changing jackpots. Play in-store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. Powerball jackpots, $209 million. Mega Millions, $250 million. This is Talkline on MetroNews.
Lost him. And you know what? It was just about to get good, too. It was just getting good. We lost
Should
him.
we take the break and maybe he'll call back? I don't know.
You know what? We can take the break, and we can see if Ethan can reconnect with him, because I want to hear where he goes with that answer. I don't know. CJ, I'm just saying, we just started bringing up some deep stuff, and then it gets cut off. Is the Illuminati listening to the show? Just saying.
Welcome back to the show. 3 minutes away from 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock?
That's it. I'm going home.
Dang, man.
See ya.
I wouldn't even be on the air on any of our stations before 8 o'clock. I don't know where that came from. Reading, it's hard.
Well, I think when you have a... I'll say in all candor, when you're in a foreign country and a monkey in a diaper sitting on your head, you're asking for trouble.
Discussion can end there. That's right. It's a definitive statement on the issue. Now we move on.
So how many times have you thought about that was a bad idea that I had a monkey on my head since you had the monkey on your head?
Every time I go visit Dr. Pellegrino, my personal doctor. Do you know what it's like to tell your doctor that?
Well, Doc, I also had a monkey. Excuse me? Had a monkey on my head with a diaper on. I bet you that's the first time Dr. Ron has ever heard that one. He's probably heard a lot of things.
He's heard a lot. Yeah, Dr. Ron has.
He's one of the great West Virginians. He's up there from the Northern Panhandle.
He's awesome.
Tremendous. Yeah, Dr. Ron. Good dude.
We were talking in my office a little earlier, and a phrase that Ryan used that I was really kind of gobsmacked over. He started a sentence with me. He said, "We were watching football on Thursday."
I know, he did the same thing to me. He did this. Is this like Earth 2?
I said, what?
He came back and started telling me about the Cowboys and the Chiefs game.
know,
You
I
were
know.
watching the Lions game on Thanksgiving Day.
Well,
What happened? What happened to our little Ryan?
Well, when my Uncle Bill and my Uncle Chris asked if I want to watch football with them, I don't say no.
Okay.
So-
because I'm not a I'm not a recluse anymore.
So if you have uncles that are big sports fans, do you get some creds? Are you like, hey, I'm actually you want to kind of a sports show? It's syndicated.
Well, I don't.
Statewide.
Well, I don't want this to be a sports show.
Second game this season that Honors had 8 threes. Second time he's had 8 threes, and his coach has pulled him out with over 4 minutes to go.
You're up 40.
Yeah, but coach just does not want to see him get that record.
There may have been a discussion about that on exactly where he was in the number.
Did you let him know this time?
But there was a discussion about where he was with the number. But at the end of the day, Ross decided the juice not worth the squeeze there. With 3.5 minutes left is when he pulled him out after the timeout there. And that's a guy with a lot of minutes on his in his body. You need to rest him. But 2 out of 11, you got to think maybe he's going to approach that again. Here's what's wild. In those 2 games where he's just been one off of Alex Ruoff's record, he's now a combined 16 of 20 from 3 in those 2 games. So he didn't just make 8 threes, guys. He was 8 of 11 last night. He was 8 of 9 when he did it before. 16 of 20 combined in those 2 games.
Across this great state of West Virginia, welcome in high school game nights. I chuckle a little bit, folks, because it said early edition.
As compared to the
Only
rest
edition.
of the edition, yeah.
Yeah. Tonight is going to be interesting, to say the least.
10 seconds remaining.
Going to be a direct snap here.
Snap back. It's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws. He's got an open man. Pass top 10. 5. End zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up, and Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
You had a moment of clarity about when it all started to make sense for you?
It did, because I didn't want to be a filmmaker growing up. I didn't even know what filmmaking was growing up. I used to watch Oprah and Katie Couric, and that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be you. And I worked at West Virginia University's radio station, had a very thick accent. People would call in and make fun of me. And so I asked my roommates, my college roommates who were from Baltimore, to teach me how to talk differently.
Really?
Yeah. And it's a loss, I feel, from that. And it's probably one of the reasons why I love documenting people that are authentic. Like, I don't know if I'm authentic, but I think the people I find are very authentically who they are, and that's what draws me to them.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Second hour of MetroNews Talkline. We're at the AARP broadcast location in the Upper Rotunda, the West Virginia State Capitol. Gang's all here. Stephanie Pauley's our on-site video producer, and Jake Link is handling things back at the command center. If you're watching on the MetroNews TV app, also the show is available on Facebook and YouTube now. We're everywhere. Also, if you're tuning in on one of our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia, Ethan Collins is our audio producer. More on what we have termed the school bailout bill that went through the House yesterday. Delegate Mark Dean will join us coming up. And we have heard U.S. Senator Shelley Moore Capito is in the building today. She may stop by the AARP broadcast location for a few minutes as the morning unfolds as well. Dave, he's TJ. Joining us at the AARP broadcast location is the manager for Jobs and Hope, West Virginia, Deb Harris. Deb, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. It's Jobs and Hope Day here at the Capitol.
It is. Today is the Day of Hope, brought to you by Jobs and Hope, West Virginia and the Office of Drug Control Policy. We're happy to be here.
Remind people what Jobs and Hope is.
Jobs and Hope started in 2019. We are legislatively funded. We're a statewide program, and we seek to eliminate barriers to employment for individuals in recovery and those reentering from some type of justice involvement, but you don't have to have substance use disorder or be formerly incarcerated to participate in Jobs and Hope. We'd like for our participants to be 18 years of age or older, have some type of barrier to employment, be ready to do some training or education. They have to submit a monthly drug screen, and they have to meet with their transition agent. So I have 24 transition agents serving all 55 counties of the state to help individuals reenter the workforce.
If I'm an individual who could benefit from the program, walk me through the process. What does it look like?
You can go on our website, jobsandhope.wv.gov. We also have a hotline manned by First Choice Services. The hotline number is on our website. You say you want to sign up. You give us some basic information, your name, your contact information, and then you're contacted within 21 days by a transition agent to do a more detailed intake and assessment to find out what your barriers are that are preventing you from being successful in the workplace, and then monthly appointments with them to do short and long-term goals. We want to sign you up for some type of training or education program based on your goals.
How many people have completed the program?
We have 600 graduates from the program, and a graduate, we define that as if you've eliminated all the barriers you came to us with. You've obtained career employment, and when I say career employment, a good job that has a living wage, retirement, potential to be promoted in that job, and then you've maintained that career employment for 3 to 6 months.
Long term, what does your success rate look like in terms of that career job, those 600 graduates? What's the long term look like?
It's an individualized process. So currently we have 1,500 active participants that might be in their first month with us. They might have been with us for 2 or 3 years just because of the number of barriers they have. But we stay in touch with our graduates for 3 to 6 months after that career employment is obtained. And so we've retained a good percentage of those.
Deb Harris is joining us, manager with Jobs and Hope. Do you have some graduates here today?
We have graduates here. We have employed some graduates. Lots of program partners here, actually. The DMV is a great partner. Division of Rehabilitation, West Virginia Adult Ed, Office of Drug Control Policy, all the community and technical colleges, all the behavioral health care providers are here celebrating a day of hope.
So if I need further education, you talked about that possibility, how you work that into the program. What kind of opportunities are available in that realm?
Based on what the participant says their end goal is, we try and find resources that are free to them. So we take advantage of the West Virginia Invest Grant that's available to West Virginia residents who enroll in a 2-year community and technical college.
Free, right?
Free to them. Career and tech ed, so your welding, your CDL, things like that. We also have partnerships with the West Virginia Military Authority. They do a heavy equipment training at Camp Dawson. So anything and everything that you can think of, I just need my GED, we're going to refer you to West Virginia Adult Ed and kind of walk you through that process and help you obtain that GED.
All right, where can folks get more information again?
jobsandhope.wv.gov. We're also on Facebook and X.
Deb Harris, manager with Jobs and Hope, West Virginia. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Good luck and good job with the program so far.
Thank you.
Coming up, Delegate Mark Dean. We'll get back to the school bailout bill. This is Talkline from the Upper Rotunda of the West Virginia State Capitol. Back in a moment.
Your fishing, hunting, and outdoor sports show returns to Milan Park in Morgantown March 7th and 8th. Over 100,000 square feet of campers and RVs, boats and ATVs, hunting and fishing supplies, guns, knives, and more. Limited vendor space is now available. To put your products and services in front of over 10,000 outdoor enthusiasts, visit WVOutdoorSportsShow.com. The 24th Annual West Virginia Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show, presented by Can-Am, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown, a WVRC media event.
At Glenville State University, we are pioneers. With over 45 undergraduate degree programs, 17 NCAA athletic teams, and countless campus organizations and activities, we're here to help you build your story while becoming a part of ours. Glenville State University, your dream, your future, your story. Visit glenville.edu today for more information.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
You're listening to Talkline on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Poca Valley has proudly served the citizens of Roane, Kanawha, Putnam, and surrounding counties for over a century. As your trusted community bank, we're committed to building relationships and meeting your financial needs. And with the Poca Valley Visa card, you can enjoy competitive interest rates, no annual fees, and a rewarding points program, all from a bank you know and trust. Visit your local Poca Valley office to apply or call us. Poca Valley, where relationships matter. Member FDIC.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
I've had a complicated relationship with food. My job was to talk to heart failure patients about diet and exercise. I felt like, why would you listen to me? Because I was not following a diet that was healthy for me. I needed help. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 175 pounds. I feel like I'm free. They hold the skill, they hold the tools, and they're waiting for you to come say that you need the help.
Steig Wealth Enhancement Group is now Wealth Enhancement.
We believe retirement starts with a plan. Saving for college starts with a plan. Your legacy starts with a plan. Do you have the right plan? Call our team at 304-443-4240 or email stike-info@wealthenhancement.com.
Talked last hour. West Virginia House of Delegates swiftly moved on a bill, or actually two bills yesterday, to establish an emergency fund for distressed school boards while approving appropriating $8 million in response to a fiscal crisis in Hancock County. The full House of Delegates suspended rules, got those two bills through. Delegate Mark Dean explained those bills yesterday. He joins us on MetroNews Talkline this morning. Delegate Dean, good morning. Thanks for joining us. So walk us through the development of the school bailout bill, as we're calling it, and we'll get to the appropriations later. But development of this bill, it all happened very quickly because of the financial crisis in Hancock County.
In early December during the interims with people from the State Department, some other delegates and representatives from around the state, and we were told that these guys wouldn't be able to make payroll at the end of January. That's why the bill was originally rushed. At first, we thought we had to have it done day one to get people paid. The state's done some things with their school aid formula and their funding to advance them. That we thought that was going to get us a couple other weeks. Found out recently it's going to get them probably until around the end of May, 1st of June payday.
So we're hearing that the Senate is going to be more deliberative. They're not going to run it in a single day. Is that a good thing then, given where they are financially now?
It is a good thing. I've read some things and heard some things from senators about other guardrails and things they want to put on it. I'm all in favor of that. We didn't make this as unattractive to access as possible.
Talking to Delegate Mark Dean about the school bailout bill approved in the House yesterday. Are you comfortable with the guardrails in there, or does it need more teeth to ensure this does not become just an insurance policy for schools that are in financial trouble?
Sure. I think one of the biggest things that we've heard and biggest input is to have something to remove the Board of Education members. We have some language in there that already exists in some other places and moved it over. But if they want that in the legislation, I'd be supportive of that. Anything that makes this burdensome to do.
So do you believe those board members should resign or be forced to resign, just to be clear, before they get this money?
I think there's a lot of factors that could, a lot of things that could factor into why they would need to access the money. But at the end of the day, the superintendent and the board president signs off on every decision.
Talking to Delegate Mark Dean about the school bailout bill that worked its way through yesterday. And Delegate Dean, what happened in Hancock County is an anomaly because of the extent of the trouble up there, but there are other school systems that are right on that bubble that are struggling. Do we need to look more deeply, or are we going to look more deeply at the school aid formula, how we fund these schools, how the system is working, so we're not talking about this this time next year?
Oh, absolutely. I think you're going to see several different variations that include some things from the RAIN report that we received. I'm working on a version, so I think you'll see that out here shortly. So I definitely think that's going to be looked at.
When we talk about factors that would lead to utilization of these funds, Dave mentioned the number of teachers, number of service personnel, number of aides. We have many, many counties, Delegate, that are running way over their authorized head count. Should that go into consideration? So in other words, if these counties have ran over head count for a number of years, should that limit them from being able to access these bailout funds?
I don't think it should limit them. Maybe it should call for deeper cuts or deeper administrative changes in the county. If we don't let counties access this fund, we're going to have things like students losing services and employees getting paid. And I don't want either one of those groups suffering.
Talking to Delegate Mark Dean here, Dave and TJ at the ARP broadcast location. You're in Mingo County. How is the school system? How is the school system there dealing with everything that we have talked about? And I'm sure you're in constant contact with school officials there. How are they dealing with the same things we're talking about? Loss of population, declining enrollment, trying to find teachers, trying to stay under the school aid formula numbers. How are they handling all these situations and factors?
Well, our county is currently an intervention county with the state, so we had an administrative change. Part of the problem here is we're over formula as well. I think we're 79 over formula here in Mingo County, so I think those tough decisions are just going to have to be made. Along with the school aid formula, there has to be a way in there to fund our students better.
Is consolidation, maybe even consolidation of counties, part of the conversation, part of the fix?
I think a lot of things are going to be looked at because we're losing population way faster than we realized.
That's tough, Mark. That's going to be a tough sell. We have talked about it. The numbers, I know the numbers would make sense on some level, but Mark, you know that's going to be a tough sell to go back home and say, hey, we're going to combine our county with, Mingo County, or we're going to combine with Logan, or, where I'm from. We're going to combine with Ritchie and Tyler. Boy, I wouldn't have to be the one to have to deliver that message, Mark.
I don't think I'm going to have to explain my position on that to the people at home. But with the loss of population, I can see why people feel the need to address it.
Well, let's talk about that, because I think there was a bill last year, and if I have the counties wrong, it was a pilot bill that would combine Boone, Logan, and Mingo. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but given what you know now, and as you look at these numbers and as we see more and more counties, would you change your position on that? Would you be open to a consolidation among those three counties?
I'm open to consolidation of services, definitely between those three counties. I think there's certain functions and certain positions that closely located counties could share.
Delegate Mark Dean from Mingo County. Delegate Dean, appreciate your perspective this morning, and we'll see you back at the Capitol real soon.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Delegate Mark Dean, again, of Mingo County, joining us here on MetroNews Talkline. Go back a couple of years, TJ. Remember the RESAs, the regional, what was it, Regional Education Service? I can't remember what the acronym
Maybe
stood
association, is that right? Something like that?
But, and the state legislature disbanded those for a number of reasons. But I was thinking about this the other day, and I was looking at the old maps. There was at least a framework where you could set to consolidate administrative duties. If we're talking about combining counties, it may be, I don't know if there's a best of both worlds scenario there where you can still be your own county, but there's a regional superintendent, somebody that takes care of the administrative, whatever. There was a framework there. We got rid of that, it's probably been almost 10 years ago at this point.
Sounds right.
Something like that. So it's not the craziest idea in the world because there was something sort of like that in the past.
And I think that should be looked at. What I heard in Mark's voice, though, I heard a willingness to take a look and an acknowledgement that, we got to put some things back on the table. I think that's good. You talked about front-end controls going back to the first hour with Michelle Blatt and trying to get ahead of this situation. Back in the day, maybe about the same time frame, there was an auditing group in the State Department of Ed. That was their job, more than those 4 people that she has now, to go out and make sure that what was reported is what was actual. Maybe it's time to take a look at bringing something like that back, too.
Got to be open. Isn't that the idea of the whole conversation, is when we are looking at whether it's schools, whether it's anything really, and it's easier said than done. There has to be a willingness to go in and have some uncomfortable conversations. I kind of jokingly allude to this when it comes to school aid formula. It was a little bit comical when we started putting a value on students. Well, a special ed student counts as 2.4. If you live in a rural county, this student counts as 1.3. Boy, you would talk about some squirming in chairs, and I understand that, but we have to have these uncomfortable conversations. Maybe, and I'll use where my hometown is, again, is Pleasant, Tyler, and Ritchie counties. Maybe there is something there where you have a superintendent, where you combine all the administrative work for 3 or 4 counties. I mean, we have to be open. We have to be open, or we're going to have these same we are having the same conversations year after year.
I grew up in the coal fields. I grew up in Boone County, a little town called Sylvester on the Boone-Raleigh County line. I love that place dearly. Boone County still has 3 high schools, Scott, Sherman, and Van.
Does it need 3 high schools?
It could barely support 1. Let's be real. And I get why people want to keep those schools open. I don't want to see communities torn apart. I don't want to see people lose jobs. Coal is gone. The gravy train and the money is gone. You have to react accordingly. And the longer we kick the can, the worse it is going to be when we finally reconcile this. So no disrespect to our good friend Brad McElhenney, who I respect, love, and adore. We need to start talking about this now. If we need a special session to finish it up, fine. But we've got 60 days in regular session and 56 left? Start talking about this now.
And you talk about this from time to time, and I like to give you a hard time for it. Population density.
Yeah.
Look, there are trade-offs. If you want to live in a rural area, I would, we live in West Virginia because we want to. A lot of people live out in very rural areas because they want to. They don't want to be around other people. I totally understand that. And quite frankly, I always say if I can win the Powerball, I'm moving to Tucker County, you're never ever going to see me again. I get it. But the trade-off for that is you may not have a 5-minute commute to the local school. You may not have a 10-minute commute to get to the doctor's office because it is rural. It's going to be in a, for whatever West Virginia is, densely populated area. That's the trade-off, and you've got to understand that, and you may not want to hear that.
It sounds great, the utopian vision that there should be no trade-offs.
Right.
That's not reality, and it's never going to be reality unless we had so much money, some kind of sovereign wealth fund in West Virginia, way beyond our means, that could make that economically work. But where we are today, forget it. It's just not going to happen.
304-TALK, 304 is the text line, 800-765-8255. The phone number, I don't even have the text line pulled up in front of me. We'll get to it coming up in just a bit. Senator Capito in the building says she's going to stop by and join us here coming up after the bottom of the hour. Otherwise, TJ, the real story here the last couple of days has been that school bailout bill. It's been fairly quiet to start the session so far. The Senate has had some committee meetings, not really doing a lot on that side. The House has run some bills with the Jobs First agenda that it's running over there. I know that Industrial Access Road bill is in committee today, but they are definitely easing into the session this year.
Easing in, and I was talking to some folks in the House. Although Team West Virginia will originate in the Senate, and the bill will come out of there, as Speaker Roger Hanshaw told us. Members of the House that are on the leadership team, they're going to get that done. And they say that's going to move, and they say they're going to get it through the Senate. That's what I heard this morning. Now, it's early, and that's optimistic. But that, even though it's not running as quickly as you might want or think would be possible, that's going to be big. And it goes beyond Ohio. It's more innovation, as I talk with folks about that, and things they've picked up from this state and that state. Very much goes back to this whole hunting mentality, right? You got to be out pounding the pavement. But we've heard the governor talk about, we're not going to do that. We're going to do the fundamentals kind of thing. So what's going to happen to that bill if it does pass the legislature and it gets into the governor's office? Now, he said, Dave, on this show, he wants to see the details and he's open to it. But kind of, wouldn't you like to be a fly on the wall of that conversation that's going on right now? Because surely it's being had.
I absolutely would. I would love to be. And I don't understand, and this might be the simpleton in me, why it has to be, why folks have to take this one or the other side. As you said, it needs to be both. You need to be out actively recruiting, and at the same time, while you're actively recruiting, cultivating, making sure the fundamentals are ready. So when, TJ Core says, yes, I want to build that plant along the Ohio River, because that's where we build plants, along the Ohio River, you go, great, I've got a site ready. It's got rail, it's got river, it's got electricity, it's got all the utilities. It's ready to go for you. I don't understand why it's got to be one way or the other. And you know me, I tried to make a point and blew it on the Dave Allen show. I don't care who gets the credit. I do not care who gets the credit for it. 10 years from now, we won't know unless it was, in your hometown and you were there when they announced it. I don't care. Just get it done.
Yeah, the big thing, I don't know why you can't do both, and I don't know why that's acceptable, to be honest, other than the politics of it.
Of course.
But I think you do have to do both. And, we talked about that access road bill that the speaker was talking about. That's not sexy. He said that. But remember Hobet? Everybody talking about the land?
Yes.
Up at Hobet that's out on the corridor. What's the biggest thing that you always hear about that? I hear about the road. We can't get up to it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of land. What do we not have enough of, Dave? Flat land.
We got to get to it.
So it may not be sexy,
but it's necessary.
But it's necessary.
But if you're a developer and you need to get from point A to point B, you're paying attention, right?
You're looking at the whole package.
We do not sexy very well on this program, by the way. 304 Talk 304 is the text line. 800-658-8255. That's the phone number. Senator Shelley Moore Capito going to join us after the news break. In fact, she's right over there. You just can't see her yet. This is Talkline from the AARP broadcast location. We're in the upper rotunda of the West Virginia State Capitol. We'll be here tomorrow and Thursday as well. This is Talkline on Metro News. Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It's 11:30. Let's get a news update and check in with the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening across the great state of West Virginia.
Would create the fund to help renovate existing state-owned facilities for child care locations. Department of Human Services Secretary Alex Mayer told lawmakers Monday that bringing these kids home would benefit them in the long run.
And I think the research is pretty clear that when a child is close to their support network, they end up doing better. And I think there's more facilitated work that we can do as a state, with that home as well, when the child is in the facility. So
Mayor also said the bill would save the state money since the department currently spends $62.4 million to care for children placed out of state. I'm Morgan Pemberton, WVMetroNews.com.
State Revenue Secretary Eric Nelson attempted to clear up confusion about a discrepancy between what Governor Morrisey had proposed in his budget, which was a 5% cut in the state income tax, and the 10% cut he sought in the high-profile State of the State address. Nelson told the House Finance Committee the governor wants the 5 and then 5 more added after discussions with lawmakers.
I think this is first and foremost one that he truly wants to work with the legislative body and come up with something that is in agreement as opposed to putting one idea out there without communicating.
You're listening to Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
The Mountain State's premier fishing, hunting, and outdoor sports show returns to Milan Park in Morgantown March 7th and 8th. Over 100,000 square feet of campers and RVs, boats and ATVs, hunting and fishing supplies, guns, knives, and more. Limited vendor space is now available. To put your products and services in front of over 10,000 outdoor enthusiasts, visit WVOutdoorSportsShow.com. The 24th Annual West Virginia Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show, presented by Can-Am, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown, a WVRC media event. It's a cold day in West Virginia. Temperatures in the single digits and teens, but it could get a lot colder this weekend. Simone Lewis at the Charleston Weather Bureau says they're keeping an eye on some winter storm activity.
We really won't know for a few more days when hopefully things come into better alignment. But one thing to note this weekend is we are looking at cold conditions taking hold.
There are some models showing the potential for significant snow as well. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
Metro News Talkline. We're at the AARP broadcast location in the upper rotunda of the West Virginia State Capitol. Dave and TJ, and look who just happened to wander into the Capitol today.
Hello.
U.S. Senator Shelley Moore Capito. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning. Great to see you guys. I was congratulating you on your one-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Still employed so
far. Not walking yet, but you're still crawling.
Talk to me after the show.
What are you doing at the Capitol today?
Well, I was down at the Secretary of State's office and filing my papers to run for re-election to the U.S. Senate. And I had two of my grandchildren, my husband at the time, and then lots of delegates and senators endorsing me. We got a great picture. And then I went back to my old home my home ground over there at the House of Delegates and got to see some old friends.
I got to ask you about Greenland. I've got to ask you about
Yeah,
it.
okay.
Just give me your opinion on the situation. That's all I need to ask.
You know, I was listening this morning. We are not going to invade Greenland. Well, I don't think we should invade Greenland. What I think the preferred course, in my opinion, we already have a base there. Let's strengthen what we have, strike some new agreements. Maybe we have more control. Maybe we have the ability to do super classified things there that maybe we're not doing other places, because it is the gateway to the Arctic. And the Arctic is, you talk about space as the next frontier on where you're going to fight with cybersecurity and all that. The Arctic is a really critical area, especially when you see Russia and China, what they're doing. So I think we need to be aggressive with them. I can't characterize right now if the president is deal making to the point where he's going out as far as he possibly can, because we know this is a pattern of
posturing.
His. Yes, and then bringing it back. But I guess he's meeting with them today.
Well, we know the president, he doesn't take anything off the table.
No.
Ever.
No.
Everything is a position to negotiate. What I don't understand, Senator, and you brought up, we have a treaty.
Right.
I understand the military and national security importance of Greenland, but we have a treaty. If we wanted to build more bases, we could do that, as far as I understand, already with the treaty without this. So it's interesting. It's an interesting conversation.
It is, and I mean that, the history of it. You hear like Harry Truman tried to buy it, and other presidents throughout the last half century have realized the strategic value here, and I do too. But I also have respect for NATO and Denmark's long-standing relationship with Greenland. Maybe in the end, there's a more of a mutually agreed U.S.-Denmark kind of I don't want to say ownership so much, but co-governance in some ways of Greenland and what could be done there.
You ever miss being in the House of Delegates?
You know why I miss it? Because it ends in 60 days. They looked at me today. One of them did. I think it was Vernon Chris, and he goes, "Well, that's a wrap for the day." He goes, "You never end," and I said, "No, we never end." Yeah. But we got good news today. All the appropriations bills are out, and this will be the first year since I've been around that we've done every single appropriations bill if we finish it in the next 2 weeks, which I think we can. So that's good.
So no talk of government shutdown at the end of the month. We're going to get this done this time?
We're going to get it done. And the good news is it cuts spending. It puts the Trump priorities and Republican priorities in place. And in my bill, I do labor, health, and education. We establish those priorities. One of mine's medical research. We do a lot of medical research, both at WVU and at Marshall and some of our other institutions. It's important for that, for the health and research and the economic value of research. So there's a lot of really good things in there.
Are we any closer to a fix on the ACA subsidies or working out a deal?
There's a group, and I think I talked about it on the show, that has been developing a plan different than extending the ACA subsidies for 3 years. We've already voted that down. We're not doing it. I voted no on that. But I'm getting a lot of email traffic into my office of real-life stories of people that are really struggling, small business owners, early retirees, and the price is just out of control. I mean, it's unaffordable. So we need to do something here. What this plan is a 2-year extension with income guidelines, with no premium plans, reforms. I'm for that. It's hung up right now on the what's called the Hyde Amendment, the pro-life aspects of it. I believe we shouldn't spend federal dollars for abortion. The lines are too gray there for the pro-life community, so we're trying to work that out.
U.S. Senator Shelley Moore Capito, more intimidating or exciting? First day in the House of Delegates, first day in Congress?
Definitely the first day in the House of Delegates. My parents were here. I didn't really know anybody too much, and I was low man on the totem pole. I was probably like number 99 out of 100, and I was worried about making a mistake, but it was an exciting time. I always liked it here.
Well, hey, appreciate you stopping by on short notice today, and good luck.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for what you guys do.
Absolutely. U.S. Senator Shelley Moore Capito. Back in a moment. This is Talkline at the ARP broadcast location at the state capitol.
It's the busiest time of year, and your business can't afford downtime. With CityNet's managed IT and network services, we keep your technology running smoothly so you can stay focused on your customers. From cybersecurity to communications, our local experts have you covered. Count on dependable service and responsive support from a company that's right here in West Virginia. Learn more at citynet.net. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan.
The Health Plan is still growing, giving you a large network of doctors, friendly and helpful customer service representatives, and competitive, flexible pricing plans that meet your needs. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
Principal Greg Dosh of MTech.
Thanks to funding in part from West Virginia Lottery proceeds, we're expanding MTech with a new STEM edition.
Across West Virginia, opportunities like these are made possible when you play, helping to ensure more students can discover their future right here at home. For 40 years, proceeds from the West Virginia Lottery for education have totaled $4.1 billion. West Virginia Lottery, 18 plus to play responsibly.
Hospitals drive West Virginia's economy. They produce jobs and create opportunities while keeping our communities healthy. Employing nearly 54,000 people, West Virginia hospitals rank among our state's largest and most dependable employers. They provide more than $1 billion in community benefits and generate nearly $17 billion in total economic impact each year. Hospitals are investing where it counts, advancing health, ensuring access to care, and powering West Virginia's economic future.
A message from the West Virginia Hospital Association, online at wvha.org.
Located in the heart of West Virginia, Bridgeport is the place to play. Endless indoor and outdoor recreation opportunities, including the Bridgeport Complex, coupled with a dynamic food scene, make Bridgeport the perfect getaway destination for couples and families. Explore unique shopping and pick from a wealth of lodging options to find something perfect for your needs. Explore the heart of West Virginia in Bridgeport. Learn more about all there is to do at greater-bridgeport.com.
You're listening to Talkline on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Across West Virginia, hospitals are always here, healing, helping, and standing strong for our communities. Hospitals save lives and build livelihoods. They're among our largest employers, with a passionate workforce of 54,000 West Virginians. Hospitals are economic drivers, contributing close to $17 billion to our state's economy and working to ensure access to care for all. From life-saving moments to wellness support, West Virginia hospitals keep our state healthy, our families strong, and our future bright.
On the next State of Minds.
People appreciate cool tattoos and they appreciate good tattoos. It's a way to make yourself different.
What do you think would fit me?
I think a ninja. A ninja with two swords.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at wvhtf.org.
Trojan Landing Marine is now Charleston's newest power sports dealership.
We now feature a full line of sleek Suzuki street bikes and four-wheelers. We're now offering the innovative riding experience of Benda motorcycles. The next step in motorcycle evolution with all-electric Zero high-performance bikes. We've now got Segway vehicles starting as low as $10,000. Come in and check out our great selection of high-quality Benelli and Royal Enfield bikes. Visit Trojan Landing in Charleston, now your water, road, and dirt dealership.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
CityNet is bringing ultra-fast fiber internet to more West Virginia homes every day. Right now, get 50% off any plan for your first year. Check availability and join the fiber revolution at citynet.net. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
We have neglected the text line. Let's get to some text. Many of you weighing in on the school bailout bill. Texter says, paid over $130K a year as a school superintendent and can't manage a budget? No excuses. Would passage of Amendment 2 a few years ago have prevented this mess with schools running out of money? I have to think about that one for a hot minute. Amendment 2 would have done away with your business inventory tax, would have had a whole new system for remitting dollars back to the counties. Let me think about that for a minute.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Dave and TJ, bottom line is the public school system is not going to fix itself by adding more money into the same pothole. People have to start excelling at their jobs to turn around the public school system, in my humble opinion, says the texter. I think we would agree with, well, I can't speak for you. I think I'd agree with that. You can't just throw money at the problem. We're talking about a systemic issue here, whether it's school aid formula, accountability at the local level, accountability at the State Department of Education level here. I think all of that has to be under the microscope.
I'll be blunt. We have too many schools, period, for a state our size. We do not have a revenue stream that will support that overage. Severance taxes, not what they used to be. Right or wrong.
And so many counties relied on those severance. This was a big conversation at the local level maybe 10 years ago. The years all run together, obviously, about severance taxes and how many counties, like where you came from, like Boone County, relied. Everything was based on that severance tax. When it went away, there was no revenue stream.
I remember
Mon County used severance as a supplement because they said, well, one, it didn't have the same effect as like it did in Boone, but they knew that it may go away one day, and it did.
There was a time with the excess levy funded by coal that I think Boone paid higher than any system in the state when it came to teachers' salaries. The facilities, why were they able to have 3 high schools when really the enrollment justified 1? Because they had that huge excess levy. They had all that money that came from the coal industry. That has dried. It's not what it used to be. It's less because of market conditions, et cetera, et cetera. If you don't have the revenue that you used to have, it's pretty simple. You have to make cuts, tough cuts.
Texter says, I guess we can redraw the county lines, but that ignores the obvious rural versus urban conflict in this state. Dave and TJ, the legislature should pass the 365-day fishing license bill. If West Virginia buys a fishing license, they should get it 365 days of fishing privileges. As of now, no matter when you buy your license, it expires January 1st. That was not on the list today, but I agree with you, actually. I actually agree with you.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so if you bought a license, like many people will buy their hunting license, say at the, for deer season in November.
Sure.
It runs out at the end of the year. You're better off to buy everything January 1st or 2nd, so you get your money's worth out of it.
What's a lifetime license cost nowadays?
That I don't know. I
guess depending on what you think you're going to do, maybe that's the best way to go to.
Texter says, bring back the Reese's that former Governor Baby Dog and the legislature abolished to deal with the education system. We talked about that. There's a framework there. Dave and TJ, Oliverio needs to go back and look at some bridges and see the lack of painting, and he will decide that mowing twice a year is okay. That was just an example. The mowing was just an example. He was not – I don't think that was a priority. But an example of the DOH's funding allocations being somewhat arbitrary. That's what it amounted to. There is actually a formula, but it's more of a guideline than a rule. And Montague County Delegate Evan Hansen went back, TJ, and said if you had followed your own funding formula, Montague County, or at least I think it's Region 4, but that DOH district was shorted several $1 million over the course of several years because they didn't follow the formula and didn't invest in where there's higher volume, higher traffic, higher economic development. And you talked about the need to do that.
Well, and you see it in these excess road bills that came out of finance today from the House. They are intentionally putting money where they feel like it can get a better return. I mean, that should be part of the conversation.
Hearing the interview on schools and roads, I have a thought. We notice when traveling through Virginia how well they manage all the roads over the state. Maybe our neighbor state could give the West Virginia DOT training and strategies they use to stay ahead on road care. Let me tell you, quick story. When I worked and lived in Virginia, well, that's been 15, 16, 17 years ago. Do you know what the number one thing that came up when we did local news, local talk, or had the opportunity to speak to the lieutenant governor in Virginia? You know the number one complaint?
Hit me.
Roads. Traffic and road conditions, number one complaint. That's
So that's universal. Doesn't matter where you go. That's universal.
So Youngkin's gone. Spanberger's in. Didn't she announce, I think yesterday or day before, they're going to raise taxes over there? Income taxes?
Well, it wouldn't surprise me.
People move across. If you lived in the border counties, would you consider trying to move across to West Virginia?
Well, let's annex them, TJ. Why not? Didn't we invite a few of them? Didn't we invite Frederick? And we'll bring in Frederick. How about Loudoun County? We could use Loudoun County. That'd be hard to annex that one, though, but we could use it. We could use the revenue.
I used to work on the Virginia-Tennessee border, and I have to tell you, it was finite the number of positions that we had in Tennessee. Guys would fight to get over in Tennessee and live over in Tennessee. It's all the same area. They don't care, but no income tax.
304 Talk 304. I was just reading a text. I can't put it on the air, but oh, well.
Oh, come on. Share a little bit with us if you're chuckling.
Oh, it involves a tattoo and Hoppy. That's all. Use your imagination.
I don't
304
think I will.
Talk 304 is the text line. We'll do some more text. We'll wrap things up from the state capitol. This is Talkline from the AARP broadcast location.
Thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Picture a community where every space tells a story. Those are the communities we're designing at ZMM Architects and Engineers. With a blend of creativity and technical expertise, we design spaces that inspire, innovate, and ignite change. From cutting-edge educational facilities to community-centric gathering spaces, we're committed to improving lives through design. Let us help you shape a brighter future for generations to come. Because at ZMM, it's more than architecture. It's about building your legacy.
Since 1926, the West Virginia Hospital Association has been the collective voice of our state's hospitals. With a shared vision of strengthening communities, improving lives, and supporting our state's economic well-being, our member hospitals work every day to provide high-quality, accessible care. This year, we celebrate 100 years of a unified voice and our ongoing commitment to supporting our members in achieving a strong, healthy West Virginia.
A message from the West Virginia Hospital Association, online at WVHA.org.
January 23rd is the annual Fairmont State Day at the Capitol. Our university is not just a provider of affordable, transformative education. We are also an entertainment and activity hub for our communities. From athletics to performing and cultural arts, from academic programming and civic events to robotics competitions and summer camps. We want all of our elected officials to understand that a strong, vibrant Fairmont State University is vital to making West Virginia a great place to call home.
You're listening to Talkline on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Come to Dan Cava GMC this holiday season and find a truck built for every winter moment. From the GMC Canyons that are now up to $2,500 off to the 2,500 GMC Sierras that are now up to $5,000 off, and the Sierra 1500s that are now up to $10,000 off. We've got the winter-ready trucks that your family can count on. Come see us today at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop Thora.
Download MetroNews Television on your iPhone or Android. Search MetroNews Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown! We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
It's high school basketball season, and MetroNews Television has you covered. Rivalries, buzzer beaters, classic hardwood competition. Watch live and on demand from gyms across the Mountain State. Stream MetroNews Television on your iPhone, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select smart TVs. Or visit MetroNewsTV.com for more information. High school basketball lives here on MetroNews Television.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water.
Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
We're at the AARP broadcast location in the upper rotunda of the West Virginia State Capitol. Amelia nicely walking by. She knows we're on air. She's waving like a fool.
Everybody does that. I feel bad if I don't wave back.
You do kind of feel like a jerk.
You know, it's like
you try to give the very subtle head nod.
Well, I'm not cool enough to go like this. You know? I'm just not.
In West Virginia, jackpots are on the rise every week. Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up Tuesdays and Fridays. That's 5 chances a week to get in on life-changing jackpots. Play in-store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. Powerball jackpot is $209 million. Mega Millions jackpot is $250 million. So go ahead, play today. A couple of more text messages here, 304-TALK 304. Combine Calhoun and Gilmer. Their trade school is on the county border. Put a high school there. Listen, we have dipped our toes ever so slightly into that idea. Remember, it's Chapmanville Regional High School. It spans over 2 counties. Mike Oliverio mentioned the vocational programs. That, I don't know what they call it now. I think it's the Mid-Ohio Valley Technical Institute, but it used to be the PRT. In my hometown, it's Pleasance, Ritchie, Tyler, one vocational center for all 3 counties. So those are just a couple examples. We've dipped our toe into the idea of crossing county borders, doing some consolidations like that. But what we need to have a conversation is more like the bill last year that would have combined at least the administrative duties across county lines.
And you saw what happened with that bill.
It went nowhere.
It went nowhere. People don't want to vote for it because there's going to be I think we're going to have a reckoning. You're going to have, at some point, enough people that want to care more about the economics than they do about the politics. And I get that's a tough ask. But how else is it going to change?
Texter has a suggestion. Here's a potential solution for school consolidation. As a chemistry teacher, why not have 2 of us assigned to 5 schools? One teaches online, the other does a mobile lab and has a lab day each at each of the 5 schools. Just thinking outside the box and using technology simultaneously. I think that's the kind of thinking that we need to consider.
I feel like we need a whiteboard about the size of the rotunda. And seriously, I mean, there's no bad ideas when you have these kinds of issues that you have to solve. Run it out.
Question about the Hope Scholarship. If the school system still gets 75% of the funding for those students, wouldn't the system like that? Fully funding 3 out of every 4 students and no expenses. Decent deal for them. And I'm a teacher, says the texter in parentheses.
I mean, I get the logic. I'd have to run the math, but I get where you're going.
Let me see. This is about roundabouts. Considering roundabouts cost about 10 to 20 times what a turning lane would on building a turning lane would, say on Greenbag Road. Forget it.
I don't mind roundabouts. Maybe I'm just weird.
Well, I recognize the number now.
Oh.
Just somebody complaining about roundabouts on Greenbag Road. Look, they put them up on the mile ground in Morgantown. Traffic moves and they got it all done. They got the 4-lane after the roundabout. Traffic flows through there now.
Well,
no more backups.
They redid the Davis Creek interchange, and then there's still the roundabout if you need it. I went through the roundabout the other day, even though I didn't have to, just to say, check this out.
Why are we not talking about more community learning centers, i.e. gathering spots for kids to learn online? You would not need as many qualified teachers in person, says the texter. All this pro-consolidation talk is funny. Remember back a few years ago when a proven corrupt West Virginia Supreme Court ruled that Nicholas County could not consolidate Richwood and Nicholas County High School. While the Supreme Court administrator was a retired judge from Richwood, now the Nicholas taxpayers are going to be footing the bill. How many other schools have been allowed to consolidate since floods in 2016? Watching the live feed, fellas, and I humbly suggest a ticker at the bottom of the screen with a running capital squirrel count. Please get Ethan on that.
Can I stir the pot? I still haven't seen the first squirrel.
Really?
I'm not paying attention, but
well, it is cold outside. They may be huddled up, hanging out. Love how the state suddenly wants to. We're talking about clean it up, and I'll read it. Some of that I can't read. 304 Talk 304.
That's a long one, and there's numbers. I'm trying, guys. Hey, Shelley, just a reminder, the Trump administration is now 32 days past complying with the deadline set forth in the Epstein Transparency Act. The pedophile protector-in-chief himself signed into law. 11:59:10 on Tuesday. Epstein file reference. There you go. Is that Mitch Carmichael over there?
Why, it is Mitch
I told
Carmichael.
you, people just wander by.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at him. He's over there. He's waving his arms around. It's all very theatrical.
If there's
over
one
there.
man in America that talks with his arms more than I do,
it's Mitch
Carmichael.
All right, we're back at the Capitol tomorrow. Senate's Finance Committee Chairman Jason Barrett going to join us on the program. Who knows who else will stop by as well. For Stephanie, Jake, Ethan, and TJ, I'm Dave. So long.